Hey guys, it's Mike from Mike's Rockin' Relics, and today I got a bit of a strange video for you. I recently watched Dillon at Noble Records did a great video, and the thumbnail was just, it's not as fun as it used to be, and talking about record collecting and things like that. And right away I sort of was like, yes, I feel this. And I watched the video and found myself agreeing quite a bit with what he was saying, and I thought maybe I'll do a bit of a stream of conscious video about this. So I had to get an amp repaired yesterday, and was taking that up, and I just filmed along the way things I was thinking about, and part of the video is just sort of kind of stream of consciousness of where I think the record industry and hobby is right now, and record collecting is right now. Halfway through all of this, I stumbled upon and accidentally found one of the greatest vinyl scores ever that I've ever found in 30 years of collecting records. So it's an interesting video, and one I probably won't do many others like, but who knows? We'll see what you guys think. But it's an interesting video, I think, of just kind of where I am as a collector and where the collecting industry is right now, maybe, and I call it an industry. And also I'll show you a pretty rare record that I happened to stumble upon in a thrift store. Well, some of the advantages of being self-employed is I get to check out the fall salmon run from time to time, and it's pretty impressive to see. Pretty cool. Just wanted to do a little response to Dillon at Noble Records. He made some really valid points that made a lot of sense to me, and he just had a simple thumbnail on his video that said it's not as fun as it used to be, or something like that, talking about record collecting. And man, he said some stuff in that video that was so spot on, and I think what a lot of long-time collectors are thinking. And it's pretty cool to see the community kind of go, yeah, we need to change some things, and definitely start thinking differently about how we collect. When I started collecting records, it was in the 1990s, and they were literally free sometimes, or in the garbage, and people were just dumping them and getting rid of them, and I thought that was pretty cool to be able to get into records. But you know, nowadays, how does a kid even get into records? So I think, you know, if a kid has to spend $30 to $50 on a brand new record, is that really a sustainable hobby for them to get into physical media when you can download and stream a record and, you know, do all of that stuff for free, essentially, or not very much? You know, at what point does that become too difficult for somebody starting out? And for us longtime collectors, you know, the stuff that's still out there that we're looking for is now getting to a price where it isn't fun anymore to find. You know, who wants to spend $600 on a record? It's getting too far gone. It's getting too far out of the norm for the average person to be a collector anymore. And I found myself looking less and less, because I kind of have what I've wanted, and the stuff that's out there is more than I'm willing to pay. And so as a hobby, it's starting to get, maybe it's reached saturation, maybe it's crashing, I'm not sure, but it's definitely changing, and it isn't as fun anymore, and it isn't, there isn't scores at yard sales and thrift stores and antique shops. It's all overpriced, poor condition, if it's even there. I think the flippers have definitely started to become a problem. There's definitely too many of those guys, and the true collectors are getting left kind of out of it now. It's all about money, and every collectible is getting, any commodity that's collected that is limited you're going to run into the same thing. And unfortunately, the internet has really caused a problem. So I'm going to take a minute and just clarify that point I'm making about the internet. So this is controversial. The internet is great. It's great as a resource for, knowing what pressing you have and discovering things that you didn't even know were out there. That has, helped us become a worldwide vinyl community. Where it falls off for me is things like pricing. And, how many times have you walked into a shop and seen something priced and you think, where's that coming from? And it's some has sold at some point somewhere for that, and all of a sudden that's the set price now worldwide. That's it. It's happened. There's the price. It's set. It doesn't take into account condition, whether it was a sealed record or not, all of this stuff. And it hurts the industry ultimately, and collectors with knowledge often that doesn't matter anymore, because you can just look it up. You can look it up what this record is and what it's worth and everything else. So there's a couple of things that are a little bit I think problematic with the internet, but basically the creation of a one price system to me is not a great thing for shops. It's hard for shop owners then to make any profit, because people bringing their records in are sort of like, well, this is what it's worth, and they have to still pay the bills and provide an experience for customers and things like that. So I think there's a lot of problems with this one price system idea, and there are advantages to those types of, if Discogs had no pricing, I think I'd be all for it, because at least it would give you the information on the pressing and what it is. But, to have one price all over, I don't know. I'm not really in favor of that. So I'm taking an amplifier in to get fixed. I blew up an amp on stage the other night, and starting to need some repair on that. So I'm going to go see one of my amp techs in town outside of my own. But I stopped here for a walk. It's a nice place to walk. This is in a town called Bowmanville. I always like this conservation area. But, this record issue is not going away, and I think a lot of collectibles are in this same boat, where it's starting to become internet-based prices. Once you have a one-price system, things are going to go off the rails for the true collector, and it's going to be the flippers and the record labels and things like that are going to start setting the prices, and it's a problem. I think it's an issue. I think Dillon had a lot of really good points. If you haven't checked out his video, check out Dillon at Noble Records. I think he said what everybody that's been in this for a long time is feeling. And I won't go over everything, but I think it's a really valid point that he made, and it's just not as fun as it used to be, that's for sure. So let's go. We're going to take this amp into a Long & McQuaid store. For my viewers in the US, that's like Guitar Center, but there's a guy that's a tech in the Oshawa, Ontario Long & McQuaid that is just top notch, and he's been at it forever, and he's one of the only guys I would ever trust with my gear. And I'm going to go see Len. Seen these amps before. These are the Mesa Boogie F50s, 50 watt combo amps. Sound fantastic at loud volumes, nice and clean, and we'll see what is wrong. So waiting for my amp to be repaired, and just went to a Value Village. I don't know if I can, there we go, and scratch everything I said before, because I just picked up this in the Value Village bin for $3. This is the Deviants from 1968, original first pressing, gatefold, and it's mint. And that, my friends, is a score at Value Village, and I can't believe it, because it's been a long time since I had one of those. But once in a while, it's fun again. So the record made it back home. I'm so excited. I do not find things like this at thrift stores. I don't think ever. I don't think I've ever had a score where I've walked in and found something so insanely rare and highly sought after in any type of Value Village, thrift store, possibly even a record store. It's such a rare occurrence. So I guess it's still possible. And I think it's just, kind of given me a boost again to get collecting again in a way, because you do get down and you start to burn out on just, you get shot down so many times finding something that you're looking for, or something new or something exciting. Everything's so generic now, and there's tons of pressings now out of new stuff, and to find original psych records like this that are limited quantities is pretty hard to do. So I was a little bit revitalized with that. It's pretty exciting. So very, very cool. I wanted to share that with you guys. It's not often that this happens, and I can't believe it was right when I was talking about how it would never happen. Isn't that the way? So there you go, the Deviants, and 1968 original pressing. And when we look at this thing, it is perfect. I don't think it's ever really been played. So, and that's possible because if you ever listen to this, it's not for everybody, I'll tell you. It looks like the cover. So you're either into that or you're not, maybe. But pretty cool and pretty exciting as a collector to land something like that. Totally out of the blue, and that's what's fun, I guess. But on a whole, I would agree with a lot of the things Dillon says, and just the idea that it's not as fun anymore. I've got some footage coming up where I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about, and where I see a $24 Phil Collins record. So that's what's not so fun anymore. Who would have thought Phil Collins would hit $24? There you go. Let's take a look. So here's kind of a perfect example where you do have a little bit of a quandary, because I've picked up this record for $3. It's worth a lot more. Let's just say that. And, do you just flip that record right away? The collector in me says no, and I'd like to own it and to have that in my own collection. If I take it home and listen to it and don't like it, then maybe. But it wasn't my intention to go out and buy that to flip. And, I saw a great opportunity to get a record that I never thought I'd ever have and have never seen. So it's a different kind of situation, I think, as a collector versus a flipper. But, certainly when you're presented with that kind of profit, it's pretty hard to not consider it at that point. And Long and McQuaid just phoned, and my guitar amp is fixed and ready. So I'm going up there to have a little look and pick that up. I don't know what was wrong with it or how much this will be, but when I was looking around the shop earlier, a lot of things that relate to record collecting, if you're a guitar collector or a musician that has guitars for various things like myself, when you look around that store, there's not an awful lot right now that I'm very interested in or curious about. It's a lot of pretty generic stuff for a lot more money than it used to be, and I'm sort of glad I'm not starting out right now looking for guitars and things, because boy, it's gotten out of hand, as many things. But this will generally sum up collecting in all areas, whether you're collecting guitars or records or comic books or sports cards, whatever it is that you collect. Right now, it's harder to find unique, original, inspiring, different types of items, and you see an awful lot of generic, everybody's the same, it's all manufactured, kind of run-of-the-mill stuff. And when you do find something that isn't that, it's so expensive that it takes some of the fun out of it and takes some of the, I guess, the enjoyment out of collecting, because it's now, you have to really think about this, and it's an investment rather than just collecting something. And collecting to invest in something is, I don't know, it's not the most enjoyable time. And collecting's supposed to be a way to separate your stressful life from your hobby. And a hobby can be, it shouldn't be stressful, I guess is what I'm saying. And that's where I think record collecting for some people is turning into investing, and they're not even thinking about listening to records or just enjoying what they are. And it's become very financially driven, and I think a lot of collectibles are like this, and maybe we'll go back, I'm not sure. Hey, amplifier fixed, power tube and fuse, so exciting times there, and more money than I kind of wanted to spend, but you need an amplifier, so there you go. that's all fixed and ready to go. We're going to head to an antique market right now and have a look around. So let's go there next. Well, I had a quick look there. Really nice guy that runs that place. I get along with him pretty well. And it's a group shop. So he doesn't have anything to do with the prices or anything else, but he kind of oversees everything. It's his place. He's sort of the manager of everything. But some of these, you know, shops that you get into, and here's a case in point. Here's a record that I spotted in here today. Phil Collins. I just don't know where they're getting this price tag on it. It just feels like this is exactly what's wrong with record collecting right now, and it's why it's losing momentum, because who in their right mind is going to pay this? And it'll sit and sit, and I just don't know. I don't get it. And this is, to me, the problem right now with record collecting and why it's such an issue, because it's become too much of a greed thing, and I know they're not as easy to get now and they're harder to find, but there's no way this price should be on there. And it's too bad, because this shop is a fantastic shop, and I always find something kind of interesting in there for the other things that I enjoy collecting besides music stuff. And as I say, the owner, he's a really good guy, and you know, but there it is. That's what it is. So sometimes you come across stuff where it's just like, that doesn't compute with me, but maybe somebody will pay it. I guess we're close enough to Toronto here, so you never know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed just spending the day with me, cruising around, getting stuff done, and talking records. And you know, it's an interesting time to be a record collector. So a big score and lots of discussion today. I hope you enjoyed that. Keep on collecting. We'll see you next time.